Welcome back. It is day 4 on the Camino Frances with the help of Google Earth Pro. This is supplemental material to the vlog that I shot 3 years ago. You can actually see today's vlog on the link up here. We are done with the Pyrenees and we're about to enter the plains. Up ahead is La Meseta. Yes. Before we go into details, let's go over the Camino Santiago as a whole. As you guys already know, it's about 800 kilometers from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Santiago de Compostela, and you can walk an extra 100 kilometers to the end of the world. Fisterra or Muxia, that is the choice, or you can actually do both. We're gonna go through different provinces along the way, starting with Navarra, La Rioja, Castilla y León, and finally Galicia. These are the cities that you're gonna see, like Pamplona, the one that we stayed last night. Up ahead is Logroño, followed by Burgos, León, Ponferrada is a big one, Sarria, and finally Santiago de Compostela. It took me 3 days to get from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Pamplona, and it will take me now a total of 4 days to get to Logroño. So there you go. You have a week if you want to go from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port all the way to Logroño. That could be a week vacation that you want to take. Or if you want to extend it a little bit more, you can go all the way to Burgos. Today we're going from Pamplona to Puente la Reina, one of the most emblematic towns in the whole Camino de Santiago. The bridge there is just breathtaking. Wait until you get to see the drone shots that I got of it. There are a few other surprises along the way, but first let's go over the elevation profile because today we have El Alto del Perdon at the halfway point of the day. After we cross it, there's not going to be anything else of any significance until we get to Montes de Ocas, almost at Burgos. We're looking at almost 24 kilometers today with a huge climb right in the middle at the halfway point of the day. We're gonna climb to 770 meters or so of elevation, but it's not too bad, guys. After the Pyrenees and after day 1 on the Camino Frances, this is just a walk in the park. Just a little bit of 15 to 20 minutes of like a steep climb, but then after that, you're going to get amazing views in every direction, and then we're going to go downhill all the way to Puente la Reina. Early morning at the Albergue, I was out the door at 6:48 in the morning, and as you guys already know, when you're staying at a public municipal albergue, you have the waves of pilgrims that live at different times, starting like around 5:30 in the morning, and it goes all the way until like 8 o'clock in the morning when I think you have to leave the albergue so that the hospitaleros can change all the bed sheets and get it ready for the new pilgrims that are coming in the afternoon. Had a banana as a snack for breakfast as I was heading out the door and walking down the empty streets of Pamplona. Very different than last night when all the young kids were just partying out in the plazas and I got to explore the city at night. And what a city it is. It's one of those that I will come back one day. Getting ATM here, and I saw that the temperature was 6 degrees Celsius. And by the way, if you're in the Fahrenheit system, as I am here in the States, an easy hack that you can do to figure out the temperature is you take for example, 6 degrees, you multiply it by 2, that will make it 12, and then you add 32 degrees to that, and it gets to 44. It is actually 43, but you're in the ballpark. That way, the minute you see the temperature at the pharmacy, the clocks that they have outside, you'll be able to tell right away the temperature that it is. A few blocks away, you get to walk by La Ciudadela, this majestic fort that I got to fly the drone and get a couple of shots above. It's just amazing, the architecture here in the city. It was already 7:13 in the morning and I was walking by here, sat at a bench and flew my drone from there, got the shots that I needed, and continue on. Bump into the Spaniards that I've been walking with, except for the one that lives in the city, and yesterday was the end of the trip for him. 2 more will end the trip in Puente la Reina today, so I went from walking in a group of about 4 or 5 pilgrims to being on my own once again. Had breakfast here, not far away, at 7:33 in the morning in an open cafe. Let's make sure it's that one. Don't you just love Google Street View? Yeah, this is the one. Had a café con leche and toast for like €1.90. Not too bad. On top of the banana that I already had. Had breakfast there and continue walking through the city. I think it's about 3 or 4 kilometers before you leave the city behind. By the time you get here to Puente del Río Sadar, Pamplona is behind you. It's in the rear view mirror. Sur Menor is the first suburb or small town that you have after Pamplona. And if Pamplona is too crazy for you, or you can't find a place because you're walking around the time of the running of the bulls, then you can stay here. They have 2 albergues where you can end your day. But I continue on, and it was almost 9 in the morning when I walked past this mural over here. Was the 25% of the day so far, and right now we're about to enter like the plains. You can see the mountains way in the distance. You can see El Alto del Perdon up ahead, but for now you're out in the open and the sun was blasting. It was starting to really warm up, and there was no shade inside. Not for a little bit. There were a few patches along the way, and there's a town right before you get to do the climb for today. 9 in the morning, got some crazy drone shots over here that a lot of people like, and they asked me where did I get the shot at. Now you know, it's just right outside Pamplona. Pretty cool, right? We started climbing just a little bit, and around 9:30 in the morning, this is where I got that shot where I was just holding on to like the wheat grass, and I put it in my ear. There's a split here in the road where you can take a 200-meter detour to visit the ruins of Palacio de Gwendolain, 16th century palace, and it has a church right next to it. I think this used to be an old municipal albergue from back in the days. I did not do it because, of course, I had no idea it was there, so I continue on walking, climbing slowly but surely. And around 10 in the morning, I stopped with a gang here, right next to this cementerio, the cemetery, under the shade of a tree. I had a snack here. I had a snack bar, talking to the guys, drinking water, getting ready for what's up ahead. Iglesia de San Andres, I was flying the drone as I was making my way into the town, and then right here next to the water fountain, a few of the pilgrims came up to me. They were looking at my drone, at the footage on the phone. Everybody was in shock. I mean, we're talking about back in 2017 when this was the first drone that was actually portable and you can take it with you on an adventure. Before that, it was just like the Phantom series, the white ones, the big ones that you need like a backpack to carry. So at that point, this was like the smallest drones that you could fly. After that came this one, which is even smaller than that. But we'll talk about that when we do the breakdown for the Portuguese and the Camino del Norte. 10:30 in the morning, I remember walking past a vending machine. It's going to be a common occurrence from now on to see vending machines along the way. So it's a nice addition to the bars and the restaurants and the supermercados that you can resupply and restock. Since I already had breakfast at a snack bar, I just continue on walking with my Spanish friends. Walked past this rest stop along the way. 50% of the day already behind us, and what's up ahead is El Alto del Perdon. We're about to do the toughest section of the climb, but as you can see here in the elevation profile, we have been climbing already for the entire morning, but just gradual, little by little, gaining some altitude, and now it's just the last push, about 1.5 kilometers that you have to do. The maximum is like a 15% slope. You have like stone rocks on the ground, so that makes it a little bit challenging, but it's really not too bad. From the Alto del Perdon, it's just a straight descent all the way to Puente la Reina. But just as you're making your way to Alto del Perdon, you're going to walk by a water fountain that is dry most of the time. Legend has it that in order to get water from this well, one has to sell your soul to the devil. Is it worth it? I don't think so. You're going to have a food truck not far from here, and there was a water fountain in the town before. But it's up to you. Finally made it to Alto del Perdon at 10:53 in the morning. And as you can see here, you have the majestic views of the Argua Valley in the west. And right behind you is Pamplona and the Pyrenees. You have a wind farm over here, Parque Ecológico wind turbines. And they're the ones responsible for the pilgrim monument that you're going to see up here, made out of like metal pieces that are cut out in shapes of pilgrims. This is a very memorable spot. Pilgrims just take pictures here. You see them on Facebook all over the place. And there was also a food truck here where I decided to have a small snack. I had like a banana and an orange juice. The sign said 550 kilometers to Santiago, and from here we started descending all the way to the next town. The sun was out, it was baking already. Walking still in the plains with the fields. As you can see up ahead, it's just agricultural fields as far as the eye can see. 12:07 in the morning, and I decided to make a quick stop by the statue of Maria right here under the tree. I got to sit down on the bench, take off my shoes, take a little break, rehydrate, and just escape from the scorching sun with all the pilgrims that were just passing by. Half an hour later, I was making my way into the town of Urterga. Saw a couple of windmills over here, the ones that generate power. Walked by Parroquia Católica La Asunción. Refilled my camelback by this water fountain over here. By the way, it's not drinkable, but since I had a filter in my backpack, I had no issues with it. 2 albergues that you can stay. If you're too tired, if that climb was just too much, you can cut the day short here. But I decided to continue. And soon I was out into the countryside at the 75% of the way. I was almost there. It was 1:11 in the afternoon, still walking in the empty fields, but I made it to the town of Muruzabal. This is a town that has a few albergues. It also has a bar, restaurant over here in case you need to have lunch. But there's a 5-kilometer detour to Iglesia Santa Maria de Uneta, and I highly recommend you do it if you still have the energy. 1:14 in the afternoon, leaving the town and making a right turn away from the road here by a metal cross that you see under the road over here on the underpass at 123. And on to the next town of Obanos. It was already 1:30 in the afternoon, and this is where I met a young lady that had a lemonade stand right outside her house, and she was just giving lemonades away by donation, which just came in at the right time because it was so hot and warm. Not far from there is a water fountain, and then you enter the town. Check out this Iglesia San Juan Bautista here. Somebody did it in 3D. This is the town where that 5-kilometer detour to Iglesia Santa Maria de Uneta, where it comes back to the Camino. And it also happens to be the Camino Aragonés, the end of that Camino. That's about a week or so. So you can expect just a little bit of an influx of another group of pilgrims joining the Camino Frances at this point. So here in the plaza in front of the church is where I saw a group of pilgrims just taking a break. There's a water well here, and there's also an arch where I made my way out of the town past this pilgrim art piece. You get to see a few of these along the way. There's actually one in Puente la Reina that I completely skipped on my trip. Not far from the town, at 2 in the afternoon, I made my way by some vines. I think after we get to Logroño, La Rioja, you get into the wine region in Spain. So this is just like another sneak peek of what's up ahead. Crossed the main road and I trailed this stone wall at 2 p.m. just before I made it to Puente la Reina. This was 2 in the afternoon when I got here. This is the statue that I told you about, the pilgrim statue. I was so close to it and I completely missed it. But as you can see with Google Street View, here it is. Massive hotel, and I think this is a private albergue over here. But if you continue walking down the road, you're going to get to the municipal albergue in Puente la Reina. And I got there at 2:10 in the afternoon. I checked in. I got a top bunk bed in a small room. Took a shower, washed my clothes. I was drying them in the backyard. And I saw my Spaniards friends that were in the kitchen. They were getting ready to do like a massive bowl of pasta. So I went to a supermarket to get some beer for them. And the funny thing is that I bought non-alcoholic beer. So I had to go back and do another round. Puente la Reina, you got plenty of places to stay here, from pensiones to albergues, private and municipal. There's also a campground over here. And I don't know if you can stay in Convento de Santi Espíritu over here. I guess it will be nice because you're really close to the bridge. One of the Spaniards, as I mentioned before, it was the end of the trip for him and he had his car parked in front of the albergue. And he offered to take us all to Iglesia de Santa Maria de Unete. It was a short, like 5-minute car ride over there. And it is a place that I definitely recommend that you go to. Eunate means 100 gates in the Basque language. It is an octagonal shaped church from the 12th century, Romanesque. The earliest documented references date back to 1487. I'm going to leave a link to Wikipedia for the church here in the map. So if you download all the GPS tracks and you see a place of interest and you click on it, chances are that I'm going to leave some information for you guys there. It was 5:45 in the afternoon and the trip was not over. We went to a town that is not part of the Camino Frances. I wish it was, because they have a castle surrounded by a wall. And that is the town of Artajonas. The group got here, got some amazing drone shots that everybody keeps asking me about, because of course it's not on the Camino Frances, but they saw it in my trailer. And we just spent the afternoon here walking the town, walking by the wall. We actually did a tour of the church and then headed back to Puente la Reina. Got back to the Albergue, and the whole gang decided to go out to get something to eat in a bar by the main square, and we spent a couple of hours there just eating pinchos, drinking beer, talking to the locals, and then just headed back to the Albergue at night. Amazing day, one of the best ones. You can tell that the scenery and the landscape completely changed. From the mountains, we're now in the plains, and tomorrow I have a very long day ahead of me because I continue on walking. I did another stage and a half, just like I did on day 2, to Asceta. By the way, if you can see over here, I'm going to post today's stamp from the Municipal Albergue. You can see all the stamps that I collect on my website. If you don't see all the annotations, the card, the 2 videos here, then you're not watching the video on YouTube. You're probably watching it on Facebook. So I recommend you head over to YouTube so you get a lot more information. So I guess that's it for today, and I'll see you guys on the next video.